Welcome to Ellie Goldsmith's United Souls. Today we're going on a journey together towards real unification in everyday life. This is basically the title of the new exciting book on United Souls, and I want to introduce this with a little bit of a summary of what's been going on and what led up to this exciting new project of writing a book. I have thankfully written a book in the past. It went on a website called Our Books. A friend of mine, Mel, who I met through Jeff Pulver, who we'll discuss in a minute. And that book was about Shalom Bayis, about relationships, about soulmates, finding a soulmate, being a guide in those areas. A lot of it is humorous, and I didn't really push it. It was about 7 years ago or so, and I've learned a lot since then. So that book is staying pretty anonymous right now. So this will really be my first major book that I'm going to actually push on a public level, and I believe that it's something which is going to be a game changer. Maybe I'll come back to the other book another time and rewrite it or re-edit it and update for where we're holding right now, because thank God in 7 years there's been so much development, especially in the last 40 years in this world. This concept of united souls and unification, unity projects, all the different things we're involved with, especially with the other podcasts, Amunah is Our Future one, and Brothers of Israel, and also the Relationship Flow podcast. We're definitely flowing towards a more unified picture of what the mindset is and heart level, and where we want to help people with the specific struggles that our generation is going on in 2020 and 5780, also almost 5781. We're going to be a new Jewish year in another few weeks, so we're really going to push out this book hopefully in the new year. Let's aim very idealistically towards Hanukkah time, which is December time. But I am making a bar mitzvah and other things, so let's be more realistic. I'm trying to write a page a day, and I've already got around 7 pages written. But let's say aim towards Chodesh Adar, the month of Adar, which is usually around February, March, where my birthday is. We'll do it as a birthday present to the world. And so we'll aim for Purim, I think will be the day more realistically. Maybe we'll have a pre-game Hanukkah, like a preview, and then release it on a Purim. Hopefully with an editor and a proper publishing setup. And if not, you can always go again with Our Books. It's a very good online opportunity, so you can check that out, ourboox.com, and over there we'll showcase it there as well. But the main point is right now we're going through a lot of development, and I have the opportunity this week, thanks to Jeff Pulver, who I mentioned before. He's someone who's put together a group, a beautiful community online since the whole COVID challenge the Corona challenge has been kicked off in around February, March time. And being that I've been friends with him for over, I think, around 12 years, I'm definitely very much excited to go ahead with him. I mean, funny enough, as we're speaking right now, someone else is, thanks to promoting the soundtrack, which is I'm going to be speaking on, people are already reaching out to me how they can register and all this stuff. So it's definitely an opportunity as he features more of our community within actually presenting. But one of the beautiful parts of it is most of the time when no one has to be the main person. It's more about community experience and community, as we write in our United Souls book. The idea of unity is very connected to community, and that Zoom experience has allowed us to communicate in different chat rooms, and being able to start off in the main chat room and then go off into little chat rooms, break off into different group meetings and meet and encourage and work on passions and things. So the book idea came together. I'd already had been recommended, because thankfully I do have weekly classes here on the podcast and on the Amunah is Our Future classes, and people keep saying to me, write a book, and thankfully Rav Shalom Arush, who is definitely a huge role model in this whole avoda, in this whole holiness and flow, he's someone who's leading the way in terms of his success in putting together the Garden of Amunah series, which is one of the most successful Jewish books, especially religious books. I don't really like calling them religious, I say spiritual books ever written, and it's gone global, and it's in almost every language. And as you know from our Amunah classes online, we have ones in English, but there's in all different languages. and in our new studio we're able to now get out the word. So a book is obviously a very big part of that process, because I remember all the different tours I went on with Rav Arush, how powerful and profound the book aspect was, because not only would he give us classes, but the bringing the hundreds of books that we would sell at the end and give away 10 to certain people, and every guest we've had on our show we've given 10 books of his series, and having such a range of different subjects, from education, from children, from all the different aspects, from Shalom Bayis, marriage, personal Emunah, having Emunah, just the general concept of Emunah, universal garden of Emunah. We getting all those messages out, and thankfully we now have again Rav Yonatan Galed speaking about the universal garden of Emunah on our sites. But the concept of all those different things that he's so successfully put together as a righteous person in our generation, and put out these books, and it's been such a big part of his growing Judaica store and online website and presence. So I definitely should learn from those and not reinvent the wheel. I mean, as much as I want to do the United Souls collaboration album, and thankfully that is going and growing, I've seen the analytics back on that, and there's been a lot of streams, thousands of streams now, and we're getting followers on the actual the Spotify area, and there's also the Apple has been quite successful, Apple Music, and it's amazing how it's slowly growing, the United Souls collaboration album. But that goes together very well with the concept of putting a book out there. A few other ideas that's gone into my head. I'm also thinking of doing United Souls collaboration album Key, which is like Kol Isha, like to be able to put together a beautiful collaboration album of talented young singers who are women, so have the Kol Isha aspect put in the title, and this as a hint at Ki, K-I, Kol Isha. So the idea that they should be able to have the opportunity to also put out the message of unity through high quality digital music. So I reached out to 2 key people in that industry, and I'm also looking again for another 11-12 songs for the United Souls collaboration album number 2, so we can keep putting music out. And that the goal, the sort of timeline of those would be hopefully again also Hanukkah in the new year. Let's see if we can get all these projects, Unity Inspires projects. So one of the things I'm looking for now that I'm mentioning the book is more and more people to send me their concepts of unity and ideas. People do reach out to me, thankfully, and as I'm speaking someone is sending me messages about all these beautiful concepts, and I will mention it on Jeff Pulver's soundtrack event today. Today's Monday, so it'll be on Wednesday the 26th of August, and if you've already listened to this after that, it will be recorded, so there is going to be a link available, and it will go live for me personally. It's around 7 p.m. Israel time, but I'm going to speak around 10 to 8 because we do have other well-known music people, and the focus will be, as in the title, the soundtrack, my connection to music. And I think that's been an important process in my journey as someone who's trying to inspire people. Music definitely is the fundamental foundation. And how does it connect in with a book? So the Zoom chats I mentioned have really inspired me to put together a book, because one, we had Mel himself, who I said is our books, so we reminded everyone how powerful and profound books are, and how available you can now publish them in such an easy format. But there's also the idea of being able to be disciplined. Like one of the people spoke in the Zoom chat, mentioned Stephen King. He's not someone who I really aspire to be. I heard he was a bit of crazy, and his ability that we can always learn from people is the discipline and the ability to constantly put out content on a successful mass level. And he was able to, on a daily level, no matter what his personal situation with drugs or whatever his problems were, maybe even assisted him, I don't know, but he was able to put out on a daily level and hours of writing, and be able to then publish hundreds of books. As far as I know, I don't know exactly which number he's holding at, but there's another famous person in the Jewish world, Dr. Avram Twersky, Abraham J. Twersky, I think they call him in the general world, mainstream world. He's also put out many, many books, and he says it's all about one core issue, which is self-esteem. So since there's, thank God, all these role models and people are mentioning the discipline and the focus of writing a book, and I've listened to Tim Ferriss for many years and his ability to be disciplined and give a lot of advice in writing skills, and thankfully I do think my presentation is improving. My ability to communicate has improved. I am generally a very very abstract person, and everyone knows that about me. And when I taught in many yeshiva programs, and my wife and my guests, and they're all, my soulmates, very aware of my abstract minds, and it's something which I work very hard on to bring down. Thankfully, on Shabbat, when I talk to my kids, I try read a nice story from someone that it's more tangible. And now, as I'm writing this book, I'm seeing it is still a bit abstract, so that's going to be part of the editing to bring it down more and more to more understandable level. So I'm just going to start off with the intro, so just you guys can just get an idea. We'll keep this a little bit longer than normal, but we'll keep it to a 15-minute limit, so just for a few more minutes. The idea, so you're joining us on this journey towards real unification in everyday life. That is the whole concept of United Souls, that we're all one soul. We've been speaking about it a lot in our Unity Flow podcast and our Muna podcast and our Relationship Flow podcast, Finding a Soulmate, how the oneness of the soul. So you can go to all those podcasts to see the general concepts. But what I'm trying to do is basically emphasize the lack of focus in the world nowadays. If you Google unity, there's really not much branding, not much company, not much business, not much focus on that. And I do believe that this personal branding and 2020 vision on Unity Inspires projects is something which I have to really bring to the table, because it's just a big space in the world. And even though there are people here and there trying, and I did put out my whole brand years ago, and I've noticed some people sort of imitating it, which in a way is a compliment. I'm not upset with them. I would have happily collaborated with any of those people, and they for some reason didn't. But they came, they sort of went. I don't really see much again coming from them, unfortunately. To keep the momentum going, one, I've basically made it very cost effective, because all the content comes through my own hard work and effort, and a big thanks to my soulmate for giving me that time to do all this in our own spare time, and also it totally binds up with the other projects and work I'm doing. So thankfully I'm in a specific situation where I can keep developing this, and alongside all the different musicians and artists and creatives and speakers who inspire me and send me their content as well, it's a big help, and I reach out again for more. So then, after we've gone into that whole importance of the brand and the idea, I'm then going to take you on a journey on the 10 habits of truly unified people. I think this is something which is for our generation fundamental, since we need so much guidance on how to function in business and our daily life, and to just think that we can just sort of fluke a successful life, or happy life, fulfilled life, unified life. I don't think that's going to happen just by whatever. It needs to be much more mindful and with sincerity, and mapped out in a very clear format, so you are constantly surrounded by this system, like we have in the Torah, of how to guide your life. The question you might ask, where is all the Torah in my book? I'm keeping it very universal, but all the concepts are coming through very spiritual Torah ideas. There's a few hints over here, and I think, like, if a person who is a Torah person who will read my book, they will understand how much of it really is all sourced in Torah. But like the Rambam, we can see him as, the Havdil, such a level, to be on such a level, the Rambam, but we can see Moshe Maimonides was able to write the, humongous, Mishnah Torah, and even he never put any sources in it. So sometimes, there's an opportunity just to really impact the world by just putting out the pure system of thought and clarification, and then through those, for example, the 10 habits, people can then find the sources themselves, or maybe one day we'll write a source book if we have time as this develops. But the concept of the book is there, and this is just the beginning. So like I said, I'm only holding by page 7 or 6. Which page is this? This is page, just looking on the thing now, for some reason, 6. So please God, we'll have, next time you hear from me about this book, will be in the for sure double digits, if not triple digits, in the hundreds. But let's be optimistic. It's taking about a page a day, so hopefully I'll give you an update sooner than later. And reach out. All the links are in the below, in terms of where to reach out to, and email and contact. And I'm wishing everybody a special El Zman. This is a time of a lot of internal development, and just be confident that you can develop your own projects and collaborate with people, and we all have the power within in our souls, and that's the concept, united souls, to join together and make this world a beautiful world. And Shana Tova, and Happy New Year for the Jewish world and for the whole world that's really one with us. Have a good one, and thanks for tuning in to Ellie Goldsmith's United Flow.